Simon Ekpa has raised concern over the gross human rights violations and abuse in Nigeria and have said this as a very strong point against the Nigerian state, citing that the Nigeria ranks 120 out of 140 countries in the 2024 human rights violations and the rule of law, compliance with the rule of law index, that Nigeria fell below the average and falls behind the war-torn Ukraine, the gang-plagued El Salvador, and the military-ruled Niger Republic. This is a very strong point to present against Nigerian government, as Simon Ekpa is well prepared and well informed with the right information to decimate the Nigerian government and to frustrate even Finland, despite the conspiracy alleged by the Finland ambassador to Nigeria, that this is not going to work according to the European laws, that any violation of fundamental human rights and abuses by any government will not be tolerated. And as such, the European countries has no confidence in the justice system of the Nigeria, as their ranking in the human rights and the rule of law compliance is abysmal. It's quite worrisome, and this has given Simon Ekpa a very good advantage to dislodge and frustrate every effort by the Nigerian government and any other, of course, party who might want to subvert the cause of justice. Simon Ekpa will argue his case very clearly as he presents the report, a validated report certified by the World Justice Project, that want to constrain certain governments or regions on the abuses and excesses, abuse of power. This is a very strong point, and with this development, there is no one who can consider Nigerian government to win this case against Simon Ekpa, because he's going to present and publish the report certified and made known or public before the court of law. And with this, his safety, of course, in Nigeria cannot be guaranteed with this level of violations to the human rights and the rule of law. Nigeria is behind the military-ruled Niger Republic than Nigeria, who claims to be a democratic client or a democratic system. It is quite unfortunate, and this indication is something that will be used against the Nigerian government, despite the call by Tinubu and the Chief of Defense Staff. They knew that, of course, the ICC, International Criminal Court, are conducting a prolonged investigations over the alleged massacre of Igbos under Buhari's regime and the continued abuse of fundamental human rights, and against the continued detention of Nnamdikanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. So there is no way the Nigerian government can convince the EU courts to repatriate or in any way send back Simon Ekpa, who happens to be the citizen of the European nation, where, of course, Finland is part of this. He's a Finnish citizen, and there is no way the Finnish government can jeopardize the life and the interests of their citizens, especially when it borders on issues of rule of law and compliance to the fundamental rights of the people, of humans. Having seen Nigeria in the light of these current statistics or certified statistics published, it is very difficult for Nigerian government and the military to argue their case. There have been alleged violations against the military, of which the Chief of Defense Staff and the Attorney General of the Federation was worried over the prolonged investigations against the military over the purported violations to fundamental human rights and forthwith disappearances. So there are many people whose case has not been well defined, and that discredits the Nigerian chances of winning the war against Mazi Simon Ekpa. Mazi Simon Ekpa has defeated Nigeria as far as this case is concerned because it's a lost battle. Why? Because the European law or European court must ascertain the rates or the state of human rights compliance and the rule of law. You see, can you ascertain or confidently convince the European countries or European court that Nigeria adheres and complies to the rule of law? Well, they are there to argue their case, but the information or whatever they needed to know is before the public domain. So Simon Ekpa and his legal team will catch on this. And of course, we frustrate and strangulate any move, attempt, or argument in that regard that he cannot be pre-exposed to a country or a society where there is gross violation of fundamental human rights and non-compliance to the rule of law. Just as Mazi Nnamdikanu case, there have been court ruling and injunction, a consistent injunction by the appellate court of law that Mazi Nnamdikanu should be released, having been acquitted and discharged, and yet he's been held based on whatever they claim to be political reasons. Well, the truth is that the European court and the European nations understand the place and position of Nigeria when it has to do with the rule of law and the compliance to the fundamental right of the people. How can that be protected? Of course, it's quite unfortunate as we are seeing gross abuse of the fundamental right of the citizens. It's very disturbing, and this is a sense of worry for anyone concerned. So with this development, you understand that it's a lost battle for Nigeria, the rendition or the extradition of Mazi Nnamdikanu, despite whatever position Finland might hold, trying to bargain with the Nigerian government. Of course, that is a dead end because it cannot work. It cannot work because the Finnish authorities and the Finnish law cannot be compromised just for political gains. And the rule of law must be strictly adhered when they finally gets to court. And Simon Ekpa is warming, very much ready, of course, to give the deadliest blow litigations that will dismantle the Nigerian argument against him, and eventually he will walk out free, as been speculated in no distant time.
Aisha Yusufu has taxed Imo State Governor, Enugu State Governor, Anambra State Governors. Stop blaming government. You are the CEO of your state. You are the executive governor. Now, since you go to Abuja to collect money, then take responsibility for the insecurity in your state. What do you have to say about it?
Now, thank you for that wonderful question. I think being the governor of the state, you have every power for you to make sure that you get security votes from the federal government. By so doing so, what are the governors doing with this money? Stop coming out to tell the people that there is insecurity in my state and that unknown government have been killing. The government need to take action and put an end to all this and stop apportioning blames. The people you are apportioning blames to are the people who their lives and properties are entrusted in your hand as the chief security officer of the state. So for a governor to come and start telling people that there is insecurity in my state, I think to me the governor need to stand up and then act now, because every now and then allocation is being shared for you, security votes is being given to you, and you have the mandate. The primary function of government is to protect life and property. Yes. So if you cannot protect life and property, then why are you the governor?
But some have said that the governors have no power over the military. That it's only the president as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. What do you have to say about that?
The governor does not have power over the military. That is true. But see, the question is that can the governor summon military chiefs in their states? I mean the division's commander to sit and dialogue for a way forward. The answer is yes. So if we can do that, so indirectly, it's still have power over the military. Now, when it calls for security meeting, don't this man, don't these guys attend in his various place? They do. So the president should not come and say that he does not have. Sorry, the governor should not come and say he does not have power. We still have killings in Imo State, Enugu State, and some other states. For how long can we continue in this path? The people are scared of their lives. The people cannot even access government, access those who they claim to be what electorate. We cannot access people that give us the mandate. So how long can they continue like this? So I think the government of these states on their own, they need to up their games. You must up your games as a governor if you don't want to be sacked come 2027.
But there's always been this fear that the votes of Nigerians does not count, and that is why our elected officials are acting this week. That assuming our vote is counting, they will sit up knowing that if I don't perform, no second term for me. Do you agree with that statement?
Our vote does not count. I cannot say if our vote count or not because I have not conducted any election. So what I'm to say is that people have lost confidence in the INEC. In the power.
The reason why they've lost.
You've lost confidence because so many persons have seen the case of Hope Uzodinma when but reason best the court knows why he had to give it to him. But someone who came forth in the election was uplifted and then he came forth. So the court cited some reasons which Hope Uzodinma became the governor. Reason best known to them. I am not in a position to speak for the court. But one thing is that INEC needs to be the trust of Nigerians again. You saw what happened in last election. As allegedly reports, the results were changed in the RF quarter. So I don't know how true that allegation is, but see, it has been going viral. So these are things INEC need to repose that confidence in the average Nigerian. And for the governors too, how much is being given to you on a monthly basis? If you get money on a monthly basis, then why don't you make sure that these people who gave you the mandate to protect them, you can as well protect them too? Because the people cannot always be one-sided every time. The people need to benefit from dividends of democracy, and when they have to benefit from the dividends of democracy is by what? By inclusive governance. The people need to feel the government impact. Not every time you come on here and say government has attacked the people, you come and start creating fear. These governments are even creating fear in the life of the ordinary man.
We've seen the governor of Enugu State who has declared that Monday is no longer a sit-at-home in Enugu State. People are saying that you are seeing that as the governor. Can you come and secure our lives? I mean, the other people, because you see this sit-at-home every Monday. Some are doing it maybe out of respect for nnamdikanu, but some are doing it out of fear. It is two ways. People are telling the governor, please find a way to secure that. Police cannot be every year. What do you think? Because sit at home every Monday, it might be affecting the economic activities in the southeast. What do you think that the governor can do, or the governors in the southeast can do?
Thank you, brother. I think sit at home every Monday is a commensurate to honor the Mazi nnamdikanu, who has been in incarceration for 4 years now and still counting. But what I want to say is that when there is a conflict in the land, the president himself needs to address this issue of Kanu. Let Kanu issue be settled out of court. If what Kanu is the son of the president, as a son, you can go, you can have a different view or different ideology and philosophy from what your father had. But why can't you, as a father, have you reached out to Kanu himself? And what I felt that the president ought to have done was, why Kanu was in decision, go and meet, let them bring Kanu to you, DSS. Sit down with Kanu, have a round table discussion with him.
But do you think that's possible? Because we saw
See, my brother,
Buhari, he could not
my brother, Buhari is different. See,
so
these are two different people.
Yes.
If you want, the security apparatus cannot be everywhere, and these guys are what, overstretched.
Yes.
These guys are also overstretched. So the president is the father of the nation.
Yes.
Since the president is the father of the nation, he should at least reach out to this guy, even to the Ohanes in Igbo. Whenever he will want to invite some Igbo politicians and some Igbo stakeholders to sit on a round table and discuss with Kanu. You have conditions, give him your conditions. Send it to him. Because you see, this is the only way this thing about marginalization can stop. And the truth of our matter is that the Igbos are heavily marginalized in the country. And that is what, and that has breed a whole lot.
But do you think that giving them an opportunity, or yes, that's an opportunity, or finding a way, a consensus in 1999, Nigeria had a consensus on making a Yoruba man a president. In 2007, Nigeria had another consensus to make another man to be president. Do you think that Nigeria finding a way or making a consensus to make an Igbo man the president is going to make that marginalization or the agitations go down in the south?
Making an Igbo man be the president would at least work to some extent. It will help this issue of marginalization reduce a very long way, because if the Igbo man is the president, Peter Obi, you will not watch Peter Obi allowing nnamdikanu to languish in detention, even if, because yes, that is his brother from his tribe. They are from same tribe. No, so what was Strngul released? It was let's go.
Yes.
So to some extent, it will help a long way. And as an Igbo man, he will speak in the language that the Igbos. Now I am one of the sons. Yes. You don't have any right to agitate.
Yes.
So that will help them. It will go a very long way for them too.
So I'm letting you go. I think we have like 1 minute.
Okay.
Now, Southeastern Governors Forum. What should be their next step?
Southeastern Governors Forum should at least make moves to meet with the presidents.
Yes.
To put an end to all this. That is the only way. Because if there's no end to all this, all we hear is killing. And then we are not in support of all this killing. It is not good for the future of the country. It's not good for the future of the country.
Okay, thanks for coming.
Thank you for always having me. For that wonderful question, the anchor of this great platform. First and foremost, I want to say, someone has come out to say, or has outlined countless times, that he said that the Nigerian government cannot win Biafra with a barrel of gold for the second time. Now when he said that, see, Nigerian government cannot win Biafra with a barrel of gold, it means that nobody needs to die for them to exit Nigeria. Now, Ojogun fought Biafra in a different dimension. Now, nnamdikanu did it via his own dimension. So Ekpa is taking it globally. And now, we've seen world body recognize Biafra. We've seen the UN and then some other global body have come out to endorse the Biafra struggle. So kudos to him, it is a plus. Some persons have come out to say that Ekpa should be discredited, the likes of Ohanes and that of the Southeastern governors. But my question is that you said Ekpa should not be taken serious. Then who should be taken serious? The government who is not willing to protect our people? Is it the people who have refused to speak up when the Igbo man has been marginalized in the country? Is it the same governors who have become a tools in the hands of their Fulani master? So for you to even have a character like Ekpa and nnamdikanu to have come out to say enough is enough, that we are tired of this contraption called one Nigerians. It shows that these people have this mindset that see they can no longer be the slave. So for him to have even gone as far as to hire lobbyists that will speak on behalf of Biafra in the world in the UN summit, to me it's a plus, and that alone the voice of Biafrans will be heard globally, and the voice of an Igbo man is also being heard globally. Now let me take it back the line. When Southern Sudan and South Sudan wanted parted ways, nobody killed each other. Nobody go through the route of violence. It was done amicably. So Ekpa is doing it amicably for him to convince world leaders that this thing is possible, and why the government of the day, the present government of Nigeria, are not seeing it that way. Thank you. You can also
Should the government, should the Nigerian government be worried about this?
why would they be worried?